What's up, what's up? You are tuned into the Anti-Socialites podcast. It's your girl, Just Feet.
And it's your girl, Vina 9.
And today we have a boss lady, for real.
Boss. You gotta say it like Ricky Ross.
Yes, Jill Strada. How are you?
Good. Hi, ladies.
How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Exciting.
Very excited.
Because we only have so many females that come through, especially in the world in which we want to be in. So it's it's amazing to have you here.
Oh, well, thank you.
I'm just ready to jump into it.
Yeah, so for most people that don't know, you are the program director.
Yeah.
So you do cover not only 99 jams, but hits as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So for South Florida, everyone that is from here, lives here, visits, we know that the main radio stations, WNR, it is what it is. Yeah, so you're, like we said, the boss lady. I'm sure you didn't picture yourself right away being a program director. I think I've heard you speak about how you learn all assets or facets of the business. Tell us how you got into radio.
So the story started in Orlando. I went to school. I grew up in Orlando, so I went to school in Orlando. A lot of my people, that I knew worked in radio, or they were doing clubs, or had DJ friends, or whatever it was. So I decided to intern, and when I did that, it ended up I just fell in love with radio. The day I fell in love with radio was when we fed the homeless, because I wanted to save the world. So I thought I was going to go into medical field, and wasn't quite sure what I was going to be able to do with that. But I was undecided major. So got in, interned, fell in love with it from the community aspect, which radio is just super. That's the other side of it's just like kind of the underbelly of what we do. But it's just so I loved it. I was in promotions, so I was a promotions assistant, the marketing director. I was on air, produced the morning show. I loved every aspect of radio. So while I did that, I was still in college, and I was waitressing 2 jobs. I just had the hustle,
Right.
But I loved it. And then I was at 102 Jams, which no longer exists, but that was out of Orlando. Then I moved to Cox Media Group, which is the company I'm actually with now. I boomeranged back, but I was with Cox Media Group for a station called Party. And then I was the marketing director for Party, and then I flipped that radio station as the program director. So it was an interesting way to be a part of that, because Party was it was really early for its time, because it was a hybrid, like a turbine is what we called it at that time. We were playing dance music plus pop music. It was a mixture of everything. So a little before its time, but.
So you were undecided. Did you ever major in communications?
Yes, I ended up going to Rollins College in Orlando, or Winter Park, Florida, and graduated with a communications major and a business minor.
So just for young people, people go to college and they feel like they know it all as soon as freshman year, but it's okay to just wait and test it out and take as many internships as you possibly can.
Yeah.
So you said you had a lot of hats. Which one was your favorite, or is this your favorite?
Still love, you're ever growing. And I say when you stop, it's sad, because that's when you're just, for me, if I fall out of love with radio or the passion of, what I do, then I'll just, for the game of it, I'll get out, because what am I really doing? I'm just collecting a check. But no, I love it. I mean, when the programming part of it entails all aspects. I guess I should say marketing is a foundation. Right. I would say that my marketing, coming up in the marketing department and all of that is the foundation of anything I do. So as a programmer, I'm marketing talent, I'm marketing music, I'm marketing my brand, everything is the basis of marketing. And so when you're able to be in that space and kind of understand from a programmer's perspective, because some programmers lean art and science. So they lean super science and they're into the numbers, or they're super art and they're the guys that are DJs or trying to be rappers and they're the program directors, So you have all the extremes, and when you can kind of have that balance of art and science, it's an incredible space to be in. And there's not a lot of us that can balance it so well. So yeah, I love, I learned all of that. I learned to put that together. And then, I went from Orlando, went to New York. And so I'm this, yeah, I'm
you have some story about something
that was an amazing. I love New York. I wasn't born there. Everyone thinks I'm from New York.
You were born in Orlando?
I was born in Chicago.
That's still a huge city.
Yeah. raised in Orlando, moved to New York. Like my soul resides there. It's like my hustle is like it's there, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I loved it. I went to New York and had an amazing experience. Hot 97 was just I came up. I love hip hop from young, so. It's like you're working at the station that it was the first station to play hip hop on radio and all that. So it was an amazing experience. My first day at Hot, my first day at Hot was incredible because you have Common and Kanye West. I'm like, so welcome to New York. It's amazing and incredible all at the same time. I was like, yeah, I'm really, it was just, from there it just went, it was a
and
really
what was
good
your titles?
There I was assistant program director and music director. Then I took, so I was still at Hot, and then MS Communications was our parent company, and so I also, about 2 years later, I think, became the program director of KISS FM. And then KISS FM is now merged to become BLS.
Yes.
But yeah, so I had the two stations. I was program director at one, at the Urban AC, and then APD, MD for Hot 97.
So throughout your years and different positions that you've had, what changes have you seen in regards to what on-air personalities have to bring to the table? Mm-hmm. So, now we see social media has kind of taken over. Right. So what else do people have to bring in order to just be a part of a major market?
I just even period, major market for sure, but any marketer, if you're going to get into the game, get into it all the way. And a big difference is you're not just going in and doing a radio, air shift. Mm. When I started down here in Miami about 4 years ago, so I started Hits 97.3. The top 40 station it didn't exist here in South Florida. So when I came here to start that, I took that team and gave them the understanding of, it's all of this. So before it's getting, shoved down our throats, hey, you guys got to do more. It was almost this is how we do it, and teaching them, this is, you're going to come in, you need a show prep, but show prep also includes, social media prep, and it's all of it now. And then there's the after the show, and then there's the, at one point we had, my morning show, midday, afternoon, and night. They would all intermingle. That used to not happen in radio. It's like, okay, morning show, okay, I'm out, see you later. Next shift's in. So these guys actually became a family, and then that's the same thing at jams.
That's something we always say. Like every time we see you guys out, we're like, they just look like they're having fun all the time, and they look like a family. And I've seen other stations, and just not just here because I'm from Philadelphia.
Okay.
But you see it, and you're just like, why do they look like they're having fun and they're not even working? Every single time. So was that something that you really pushed for? Because I've been here since 2007. Okay. I'm in 2005. She's been here since 2010. And you go to events, you see different things, but recently it's just been this whole wave, and then you guys do the spoofs and
the uncensored.
Yeah, it's really, and just even on Instagram, your presence on social media is amazing. Is that
our Instagram got taken away?
I know. So did that just get
free 99 jams now?
No, I didn't know what was going on, and she tried to tag you guys in Cardi B's event, and it was just where is it?
I don't know what happened.
So yeah, that was Cardi B tagged us in her event. I'm like, really, our thing is that
Did it just flag your account?
Yeah, pretty much. So we're at 99 Jams Miami now. So please follow.
They did not give it back.
No, it was crazy. I don't know what is. This is okay. I'll give you the quick synopsis and then we'll go back. There's how there's the ambulance chase lawyers. Mm-hmm. Okay, that's happening in social media right now. So you have lawyers that are only there to just check all your stuff. So if you do something, what they'll do is they'll alert the videographer, photographer, whatever. There's lawsuits like crazy, so guys be careful. Mm-hmm. But I'm just saying, legit crazy, right. And so they're just on it. So now the social media sites have become more active themselves in making sure that anything doesn't slip.
That's crazy. I've seen even on our account and even on my own account, it's like, oh, you posted this, it's reported to ... acknowledge it. And I'm like, what does that mean? And it doesn't show you what you did wrong or what you. Okay,
if you get too many of those, that's what happens, and it's simple. Literally, it's like you can, if you don't repost a certain way or it's not just like if you took the picture and I saw it on your account and I give you credit even in my, that doesn't count. There's a lot of information, so get with it.
I'm gonna have to Google that because for real. I had no idea it was so intense.
Yeah, it's definitely.
Well, I think it's because now with the way people get famous or popular or notoriety. Yep. It's taken so much into context now that whose content does it belong to?
Right.
How do they get paid?
Really? No, seriously. That's what's going on.
Because they're finally trying to regulate streaming and everything like that, which, like, I remember Napster and LimeWire. And shut down accounts, like, just mess up everybody's flow only to, you know, regulate it. And it's just like, y'all should have figured it out 10 years ago.
They get sometimes, like, innovation, it's change, right? So it makes some people afraid. And then they're just not, you have to just broaden the mind. I mean, a lot, and that goes even to radio. Radio, they'll say, you know, okay, radio's dead. Radio, how
You're
many?
taking all my questions.
Oh.
I just want you to know that. I'm looking at you like,
great minds, great
I'm
minds.
like,
We can rewind and you can ask it if you want, you know?
No, go ahead.
But
great transition.
But see, there we go. I know we're like not even finishing certain things. We're
Listen, this is how real conversations go. Like
100%.
if you're into it and you just flow. Like, go ahead, continue.
So wait, what was I just saying now?
Talking about radio dying.
Oh, right. So all the years, right? How many times has it been that, you know, radio's going to die? Radio's going to, you know, satellite and Pandora, you have Spotify. It's just, we're expanding. It's just an expansion of, so consumers are consuming music or content in whatever way it is. It's just expansive, you know? And if we're not expanding with that, then yeah, I guess we would die. But that's the whole point of you're always growing. Everybody in every level. There's days I follow, there's days I lead. You know, most days I lead. I'm a programmer. You know, I'm leading 2 stations. I'm leading, you know, a lot of my team. But there's times that I'll fall back and say, okay, let's, you know, like the, you know, video that I was sharing with you, you know, we did today. I empower my team because my team makes my brand's number one. Let's be clear. It's like, I'm going to, you know, be the nucleus of here's what I'm going to do. And here's the strategy and things that we'll discuss and I can teach. And then they're getting empowered. And then everybody learns and grows and does amazing things. So that's ultimately the goal, you know, for my 2 brands. And that's probably why we're having fun, because we're working hard and we're working hard. It's not all beaches and roses and fun, you know. But
so a major misconception about radio is that it's all beaches and fun and party, but obviously we know that radio has a strong part in community. So how important is it for anybody that works for the radio to be not involved in the community, but to have knowledge of what's going on in the market that you're in?
That's, like I said to you, my beginning was, that's when I fell in love with radio. I was like, okay, so I really love the fact that we're feeding the homeless and we're actually impacting, you know, the community. I feel there's a couple answers to this where, you know, I feel one, music is emotion. And so we impact the community just by playing emotion over the, you know, and radio is a very intimate media, because if you wake up in the morning and you're turning off your alarm or you're doing whatever you're doing and, you know, you're looking at Instagram on the phone, you turn on the radio and we're invited into your home. Like, how intimate is that? I mean, I'm still my hair in the bun and I'm like, and, you know, looking crazy.
You can dress with me every morning.
Yes, you know, and that's what I'm saying. It's a super, you know, if you're having a bad day, if you're having a great day, if you're, you know, and you get in the car, it's just, there's the radio station and there's those moments and those memories, and music has a lot to do with that. And then great personalities also are able to, you know, kind of match that momentum that music, you know, has with emotion. And so I think that part, you know, we serve the community just in doing what we just do. We also, it's a responsibility of radio stations, in my opinion, to go and be a part of what's happening. When Irma happened, we were very, you know, on it, very important to make sure we didn't go off air, because you have, you know, TV stations and they can't see it. They can't visually watch what's happening. So now they're only hearing it because you can't even really look outside. So you got, you know, your shutters up and all that. Radio is, you know, imperative at that point, you know, and the Next Radio app is amazing because it doesn't use a lot of your battery life. A lot of people don't know about that. It's on their phones, and it's, you know, it's free. It's download, you know, you can listen to your radio stations, and it's not a battery eater, so to speak. But that's how a lot of people, they did that. They listened to our apps. You know, those were ways that we connected. And then certainly the events, and we, you know, from walks to, you know, the annual things that we'll do, those are huge. You know, those are the annual important things that the radio brand does. And if you guys are my air personalities, it's kind of like, what are you passionate about? And that's what I do with all of them. It's kind of, you know, yeah, for sure.
It's authentic.
100%. Because, you know, there's going to be things that collectively we're going to do. But, you know, Laz, he's on the Hits 97.3 morning show. Laz has just a passion for the Miami Children's Hospital. He had, he grew up in that hospital, basically. So they started a radio station in the hospital for the kids to participate. Yeah, Radio Lollipop. So, we participate in things. Yeah, we do things like that. You should go check it out sometime. They would love to have you guys there, But there's that. And then you have, Shelby, Shelby does so many things with, for women. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, for real. And you just take that times all of the team, and it's kind of, we embrace what they're passionate about. We just, and again, it goes to empowering the team. So we're all capable. I don't have to say, okay, now we're going to do X, Y, and Z. It's, you may say to me, oh, I got this thing. I love this. We want to, boom, and we make it happen. So that's kind of how we're executing community.
With all that you guys are doing, how, like, as far as traditional radio and then being innovative, like how are you able to balance both, or what are you holding on to as far as traditional radio and still being innovative?
I think traditional radio, the one thing about us, we're free, and we have, our massive signals. And so we're going to reach the community, and we're going to penetrate the markets that we're in. There's other companies, I've worked for companies that are about what I'm talking about. There's other companies, their business model just doesn't match. So it's not a blanket statement of all radio, just this is how every radio station is with community. This is how every program director is with their team. It's different. This is an individual, thing, but I think that, when it does come to the community stuff, like I said, if you're a strong radio station in the market and you're doing what you need to do properly, it's like you're just going to service the market that's there. And I think that's one of the things that we hold on to. If that's just, there's something, because it's like our, it's where it's meaningful, we mean it, we're not bullshitting it, we actually mean, no, we're going to go out there and really do what we want to do. And then, there's other things, like from a local perspective, and I know probably you're going to say I'm taking one of your things, I just thought about it, damn it, but that's a great mind to tell you. But from, local, when I moved to Miami, it was about, okay, so I was told, I could have, in the instance of my journey, when I was going to come back here, I was in Boston for a year, and I started a station there. Yeah, I was in Boston, and then I had an opportunity to, potentially go back into New York and work with Hot 97 again, or come down and start this Top 40 station. My journey, I was like, I've never done Top 40. I want to start this. I want to see what I'm about. Can I do this? And because that was a station that couldn't. Everyone was like, nah, they can't, and we are, and we're beating them all. So, but hits team. But then, it was just a matter of, I guess, taking myself from, Boston, coming down here, and then saying, no, it doesn't have to be, New York or LA. Like, it's New York, LA, Miami, even though Miami's not the third biggest market, but Miami is an amazing market. Everybody's in Miami, okay?
All the time.
So my thing is, I'm like, okay, we're going to make the industry here. Because when I'm speaking with my industry friends, and they're just like, come back to New York, da, da, da. And I love New York, but I was like, nah, I think that we can do something. And then when I took on jams too, I'm like, nah, we're definitely doing something. Because
what were you thinking when you did, did you ever say this might be too much, or you just was like, you know what, I don't care, like I'm going to try it,
I'm always just challenging myself. Like, it's my team. My team makes me great. It's selecting your team is the biggest foundation builder ever. You have to. You guys are in here doing this. You're catching a vibe. I'm sure. If you got the wrong person in, it's like, okay,
it's kind of right. We've had that problem.
I'm sure you have. That's what I'm saying. No names mentioned. I'm sure you have. Everybody, every team does. And then when we talk about evolution to change, then what happens? So you get this gig offer. Okay, well now you may want to still do this, and now you're going there and you need to replace it. Then how is that going to be? And then you may go, and then everything morphs into the next. And so it's just we're always innovating. We're always continuing to look at how do we grow. But when it does come to local, my goal was do as much as I could, not just for the community, but there's artists out here, there's music out here that we're like, okay, like once we get in this and we get started, let's go. And that's that was a lot of my mission. I'm sure we get the other side of Jams doesn't support local and this and that, but when you break that down, there's a lot of local support. It started when we started as our team, meaning like a new generation of jams or however you want to look at it, but you know that, so I don't know about Before Me, but I know for sure now, I can confidently say no. I mean, one, come with a hit, you know, we're not just playing random stuff, so you know that's one. But I'll, you know, I just
said it again.
Yeah,
I think that's the most important thing.
You know what I think is important is that the artist can't say that you guys aren't approachable, because even if their song's not getting played, it doesn't mean that a relationship can't be built, because you guys have events all the time that are accessible. So like your Uncensored, and when you had the Trick and Trina Backyard Barbecue, that was where a bunch of artists could have came and networked. And each of your personalities, I think also like Felicia, she's very big on connecting with the local artists and stuff. So,
and I think a lot of them are. I mean, our DJs are on board. You know, to do all of that. I mean, they're in the streets. They're with you know.
And they came from. They are. You have the DJs that actually came from the strip club. You know, like, and it's like, oh, you gotta go. Like, that's the processing movie that you have to go. And you like a Nasty. Like, I've seen Nasty in the strip club. You know what I'm saying? Lucky C. Like, I'm so proud of Lucky C. Like, that's our generation. So we just like. It works. It's working, and you can see the change, but people want to hold on to.
Well, you can't make everyone happy, and I'm okay. Like I said, I hear all the stuff. I really don't. It is what it is, you know. Because I mean, I'm that confident in what we do. And the people, you know, it's that weird. You're never gonna make everyone happy. So I mean, if we're not playing everybody's thing at the right time, or are we, you know, who's are we playing, who's aren't, what's going on? I don't know. I mean, from, you know, breaking a Kent Jones and a Zoe, and I mean, even Kid Omar. That's one who, he doesn't have a song right now. I mean, I think he's great. You know, I mean, he's out there. He's on my mind because I just saw him. You know, or like, but you know, you gotta be out. You gotta. Yeah,
he's
right. Yeah, his little video just popped up on my. I guess I had it out or something. He just popped up. I'm like, what the hell is this? You know, but
and then you guys, even like Frank Castle,
exactly.
I love and I haven't seen it since I've been down here, and I said 2005. Like, this is the most local love we've seen since. I mean, at least since I've been here.
Well, and I do think that is another responsibility of the station. It's like, especially in a major market. I mean, if you're in, you know, Idaho, it may not, you know, who's maybe coming from Idaho, no disrespect, but you know, it's like, you know, you have like a lot of talent that you know that flourish in certain markets, and there's talent here. They may have great stuff for different medias. Like, they may have, okay, that's good for, you know, a head nod in the car. It's not a radio hit, you know, but it's, you know, so there's different ways and different opportunities for artists to just get their music out. It doesn't have to be radio. Radio is definitely just part of the journey. It doesn't have to start there. It doesn't have to end there. It doesn't have to be, you know, make it part of the journey. And that's what I always try to tell everyone who does come and see me. I'll listen. I'll do my best to do that. But I'm also running a couple stations. I do, you know, it's a busy time. But that's why we divide and conquer. Our team, you know, they know what's going on. They're watching movements and all that. And we just, you know, we keep our eye on the street. You know, we keep our ears in the street and hear what's going on.
And
what's the most outrageous, like, I don't know, like, pick me up, or like how someone tried to approach you and you can listen to their music?
I don't know.
I worked at Slip and Slide Records, and we saw a lot of different like packages, and like one guy would just send this big old. He would send like small box, big box, and it'd be like a cassette tape, and it's like we're not even listening to that right now.
They're creative, right?
Like, it's too creative.
That's like, I mean, I do think that there's been different items like tchotchke things. I mean, that they've sent to me. It's just it's about the music. You know, it's like at the end of the day, it's about the music. Nobody that I can think of did anything extravagant that was like, oh, that was really creative. You know, that was really, you know, that off the top, at least I can't think. Sorry if there was something. I'm like, oh, I shit on their stuff. But
I know somebody sent you like a personalized gift or something.
Like, she doesn't remember?
I know. I mean, I've gotten some stuff, but nothing that was super out there. That's like, oh, that's different.
Yeah. All right, well, we're going to go into our song of the week, and when we get back, more with Jill Strada.
Yes. Right. We're just going to go back to, you were talking about art and creation. We had a little break, and we want you to just speak on that a little bit.
About art and science?
Art and science,
yeah. So, everything, like I was saying to you off here, was everything that we do, whatever business you're in, if you're your own brand, if you're working for whatever it is, everything is art and science. So the science part of it is the structure side, the business plan, all the stuff that is the foundation. And if you, yes, it's right. But sometimes even the creation goes in that. I love the science side as well. That's a geeky side of me. I love researching music and I love looking at the numbers and all that, but there's the numbers and then I just vibe with this, and I don't know what they're saying over here. Jay-Z in New York used to, win tests, perhaps, and it's like, Jay-Z in New York, we're gonna play, we're gonna do this. Then that's the art. The art is like, no, my gut tells me this, or I'm gonna do this, And some people are too afraid to say, oh no, but the science and the research and the this and the, we can look at, whatever. I mean, whatever intel you get. We get music research, so we'll just look at multiple, formats of how to look at that. And then there's just the common, but everybody's bopping to this, or if I go out, I'm like, I want to go see what everybody. No, they like it,
Right.
So we're gonna put on the radio, and that's an example of just. The art and science of radio, but I'm telling you, it just in anything in life, and that's the part I was saying. I'm patting myself finally on the back for I get it. There's not a lot of programmers that are like that. They're really art or they're really science, and that goes in business, as well. If you can't have a little fun or a little,
I'm sure we've all. I mean, her and I have worked retail before, and you have the boss lady, the store manager, or somebody, whatever industry you're in, and you see those that are too much one way and don't have the balance, and then you might miss the opportunity to connect with, say, an employee or people that are trying to work for you, and like you mentioned, your team makes your job a lot easier. It makes it more fun, creative, and you hit those numbers. I like what you said about the science, because even in what we're doing, there's no way that we're going to meet goals if we don't understand where we're at. So if we're not looking at analytics at all, then it's like we're just shooting an arrow and just
blindly
hoping we'll get
there. No, and there's nothing wrong with it. A lot of people, they'll gear towards one or the other. And if you do gear towards one, then know the team you need to create to help you with the other.
I think that's where people miss the ball. Is they think they can do it on their own. And they don't need a team. And then the team that they do have, they're not utilizing them correctly. And they don't know. Like, the best part about being a boss or leader is knowing who the strongest people are for your team for what job you're putting
100%,
that was something that our boss could have learned.
That's hard, And we're all, and like I said, even with, your bosses or in as you grow in your own careers and your journey, you're going to just learn these lessons. And sometimes you're going to be like, whoa, what? I need to check that, And
she does stuff I can't do it.
Yeah.
That's right. And it's just like,
my strengths, her weaknesses, her weaknesses.
That's why it works. Because
that's great.
There's some things I'd be like, hopefully she did this.
And I know I didn't do it, and I don't know how to say it. So a lot of people, we have a lot. Well, we know a lot of people that want to do similar things as us. So we're all in this, what do you want to call it? Media. I don't want to say clique, but there's a underground media in Miami.
I love it.
In South Florida, where a lot of people talk about wanting to be on radio or just in general media. What do you think it's important for men or women to identify exactly what they want to do and go for it, or try to
do different things?
Yeah, try to be good at everything.
I mean, I say be open to the opportunity. There's a lot of doors. When they open, I say just kind of explore it. You can always say no. Don't ever, for everyone that's on the come up, that's my biggest advice. I said yes. I mean, I just kept, I would just be like, okay, yeah, let me have this opportunity to have this conversation. If it's an absolute, this ain't, then no, then okay, I'm not going to do this. But if it sparks curiosity, if you're thinking, that, I don't know, I may love this, but they need a digital something over here that's not what I do, but it's still digital. It's kind of in my lane, let me explore what that is. Because all you're doing when you're interviewing or you're going through all this, it's great networking. I mean, whether you take the best thing is you are offered the job, and not the best thing, I guess, but it's a compliment if you are offered the job, but you didn't take it, and again, you declined it in a way where you maintain those relationships. You just made a really good relationship. If there's somebody in the power of hiring you at whatever the position is you may be interested in, that's a great opportunity, because you'll stay in their mind and think, that wasn't their opportunity, but I got to know them enough through that interview process that this may pop up and they're that's the person for it. So anything you're doing as you're on the come up, it's if it's interesting, I say just have a couple questions, ask a little bit more about it, and don't be afraid to interview back. You know, it's like, I know I can say that more, you know, I've built what I'm telling you, and maybe in the beginning I would have wished somebody would have said that to me, but really, you know, when they say, okay,
you have any questions?
It's like, no, it's, yeah, no. You're like, I don't know what the hell I want to say, like, just give me the job, can I have the job, you know, but it's like, and it depends on what position you're in, because you may really just need, you know, to do the job, you know, and you may really want the job, and you know, all the, you know, so I'm not saying force it, but I know that when, you know, I moved down to Miami the first time, I was a program director at Power 96, and I interviewed just as strongly back. I was, you know, from hot, I went to Miami, then I went to Boston, and now I'm back to Miami with these two. So it's like, even for this experience, I mean, I was going back for, do I go back to New York? Do I go back to Miami? You know, I interviewed back. I was like, okay, so yeah, I'm going to tell you all this. Now you're going to, you know, I need to know this, I need to know this, you know. So you just really start digging in, and the more I did that for myself is the more I do that when I hire people. I want them to know exactly what they're walking into. I'm not going to okey doke. It's like this is what it is. Because especially when you're coming into a media company and you're like, it's great, they have so much fun. There's those other days that it's like, oh hell no, this is the worst day ever, you know. I mean, that's just what it is. But I think intention is super important, and is intention from a leader, and the intention of the team, and the intention of the brand, and you know, everything's about intention. So if your intention is to be amazing and to work hard, play hard with your team, and your squad is going to be this, then that's what it's going to be, you know.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah, that's a lot. I'm just like, what's the one thing that people don't expect to have to do when they enter into the media world? Like, they think it's all fun and glitz and glamour, and it's that one thing that's just like, I didn't know I had to do this.
I think that there's a lot of those little things. I think that when they're first getting in, I don't think they just don't know what they don't know. Right. And so I would say,
or even for you, make it.
But I think when I say you're going to do the tedious to the amazing. I mean, the best example I would give is actually in New York with the interns I used to have up there, and they would come in. I'm a believer. I came as an intern in the industry, so I hire interns, I train. I mean, I have interns that are now program directors or morning shows or, you know, whatever throughout, because I've been in different markets to, you know, build different talent. And the example I would say is, you know, we had Summer Jam, and I would hire the interns, and it's like, you may have to go and do some, you may sit there and be stapling the tickets for Summer Jam with me that we're going to give to the listeners. Or I may need you to be the artist, you know, the liaison from me, you know, me and the artist, right, and that kind of thing. So that might be if I'm thinking Jay-Z, because the concert's coming.
I can't wait.
So Jay-Z is, you know, performing, and it's like that you're just his person that, you know, I was like, where's he at?
He's like, at the top. That's between
right there.
But, you know, but then you're going to be the, you know, so you may have stapled the tickets with me, but then, you know, you're going to be the person that's like, you're going to make sure he gets to that stage ultimately. So it's the everything. It's the little, you know, the little stuff and the nuancy things or whatever, to the, oh my God, this is like something I'll never forget. I had to like escort so-and-so to do such and such or whatever, you know?
Right.
So I think there's a lot of misconception though, because it's a business at the end of the day. And I think beyond people coming in to work for the business, you know, the artists that, you know, that's a conversation I have with them as well. It's like, guys, it's a business. You know, I don't own this business, but this is, you know, my job is to protect this business, make sure we're profitable, you know, those kind of things.
We can stay afloat.
Right.
Because if there's no profit, there is no job.
And then it goes to, you know, the artist. That's the science that goes to the art. And it's like, okay, so if we play a song that's a whack song, not even a new artist from here or whatever it is. I'm saying it could be somebody, a record label worked a song and it didn't work. If you're playing the wrong song or, you know, listen, people don't love that song, there's plenty of, you don't have the gift anymore of, there's not a lot of competition. You have plenty of competition. So what once was before, you're just on the station and you're like, okay, nope, you're going to punch out, not just in terrestrial radio. You can go to podcasts, you can go to satellite, you can go wherever you want to go. What do you feel like listening to? Go there, you know?
Right.
So that's the importance of the decisions we make. Every song we play on the radio station is a marketing statement for our brand. Mm-hmm. And so if it's not the proper marketing, you know, if that's like saying in fashion, I wear this thing when you know you're looking crazy, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just because they're pushing it on you or something. So you just gotta make sure it's the right thing.
It has to translate.
Yeah.
So what's exciting about Miami? Because we talk about the markets, and you said it never used to be a top 3 market. Mm-hmm. What is it now?
Well, it's not. I think Miami's market 11. As far as just the industry, but when I say it's like number 3, it's like, look, I mean that's the happy side. It's like there's New York, LA, and there's Miami. Come on, let's keep it real.
That's where people come to play. Like
right.
The places where you see the most celebrities is here in New York, in Vegas,
mm-hmm. and Atlanta for a minute, you know, like like they're still, you know, but I'm just like, but Miami, in my opinion, Miami just got slept on. Miami's the place you come party and play, but where's the hustle? Where's the drive? Where's the you know, where's all that? So no, it's real talk, and that was, I was excited about it because my hustle's crazy. So I'm like, I got this. I'm like, oh, they don't hustle, and that's like the norm. I'm about to take over because I'm gonna hustle. And then second, I'll bring hustlers in, and they're gonna hustle. We're gonna just hustle together, and then we'll change a culture. Like, no, this is how you have to do it. Like, this is what the grind is. We're not just, you know, here just bullshitting. Right. You know, we're here. We gotta this. It's a hustle. So you don't have to go outside to hustle. I mean, that's an internal thing. And, you know, so you don't have to go travel here, there, or wherever to get your hustle on. Mm-hmm. You either hustle or you don't. I was hustling in Orlando, Florida. So it's like I'm hustling here, you know.
And it wasn't Disney.
Right, exactly.
I look at Miami as I've been saying this for a while, but a woman who hasn't found her way yet. Mm-hmm. Like, she's in the process of learning who she is. Mm-hmm. And she has the potential to be a bad bitch. Mm-hmm. But it's just some things missing.
Yeah.
Like,
that's it.
And what you said is true. Like, I'm not from here, she's not from here, and a lot of the people that aren't from Miami are the ones that are like pushing Miami culture. Yeah. The thing is, like, Miami has a complacent vibe because you kind of could just go to the beach if you don't want to do anything today. So the fact that you talk about hustle a lot, like on your Instagram, like most of your posts are about hustle. Where did your hustle come from? Like, when did you know you were a hustler? Like, at what age?
You know, that's a work ethic thing. I think my family brought me up like that. So no matter what, we just worked. You know, it's work ethic, right? So my family, it's just how I was brought up. So it's always been that, you know, the work vibe, no matter what. I mean, just, I don't know, I never not had it. So I can't even remember what age because even in school, I was like, and I was smart in school to be like, all right, I would skip, I would do my things, but I'm like, okay, I gotta take these tests, I gotta do this. Okay, now we can go and skip and hang out and we're gonna go, you know, that was always my life. So it's kind of, you know, and we don't work a 9 to 5 in media ever, you know, and so we just kind of take our, you know, Monday through Sunday and we create our life. And a lot of it is work, but a lot of this, you know, you have to have fun doing what you're doing. So it's not even just fun at work. I mean, take a vacation, do your thing, you know, catch a vibe. All of that is important just for your well-being.
Would you say it's easy to weed out the people in media that aren't passionate? Because I feel like if you're Monday through Sunday, your hours are not always set. There's gonna be those people that you can tell, like, okay, you don't really want to be here, and it's
a lot. Yeah, that's interesting. You know, there's a lot because I talk about that with other industry friends where it's a different generation of like a lack of hustle. It's entitlement's a great word because I've heard that back to me because I'm like, I wasn't using that word. I'm gonna start using it more, but it is entitlement in some, you know, to some degree. Not everybody, not to generalize, but it's kind of like, man, you don't know the hustle that went into this. Like, this was a grind. I worked for free for a minute, you know, on my internships, and but I loved it. So I just kept going and going, and then to grow into, you know, where I'm at, but I just never thought I couldn't, you know. I was just like, oh no, I will. I just have to figure out how. It's like, I may not win immediately, but I will win, you know, and that's just going to be how I guess I continue to look at it. And people who don't look at it like that, if they feel entitled or they're feeling, oh, well, I just need to get in and I should be on the radio or I should be, you know, it's kind of like, no, it doesn't, you know, you need training, you need coaching still.
It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, and it's only for your betterment because if you get it, it's like, how dissatisfying is that really? If you don't really, you know, go for it. Okay, so you're whatever age and you just, you know, you might have graduated, you did this and okay, you got this. Okay, what next? You know what I mean? It's like, okay, so now what? What are you trying to do? Hopefully they have enough hustle to do it, but most likely if they're feeling like they should just get the next thing, they're going to get reality slapped in their face and be like, oh, that's going to be like a little crisis that they're going to have to go through because that's going to be a wake-up call, like, you know?
It's either sink or swim.
Yeah.
You talked about coaching and mentoring. Who are some of your mentors or coaches?
I've had several. I think that, you know, as I continue to grow in my, you know, still in my space, I'm always finding new people. But I would think the first person who I can really say was a guy, Rich Reese. He brought me into Cox Media Group in Orlando. Like, real talk, I thought I was going for the assistant director. Like, I ended up being the marketing director, but I was going as the assistant promotion director to the marketing director. Yeah. And they're like, oh, you're the marketing director. I'm like, oh, kid. I'm like, of course, thank you very much. Just say yes. Figure it out. I'm like, what the? that was one of my best experiences, but he believed in me, that was one person. I mean, Carlos Pedraza was somebody that, these are all names that are like, they're in it, but they're, but he brought me in as an intern, and that was really the start of everything. But I had an amazing Alex Cameron, who is my market manager in New York. So she was my boss for Hot and Kiss, and just challenged me. She's the one that was like, yeah, so you're going to do Kiss. And I'm like, what? Exactly. Yes. Okay. You're just going to say okay and just figure it out. But she really, she believed in me. It's like, I think that when you're going to become successful, one, with all the traits and everything that you have in your own right, your studies, your experiences and all that. But when you have the people, that's when you really just flourish. You really do. Because it's when, the belief in somebody is, that tremendous that it's like, you just feel that energy. You're like, okay, no, I'm going to be, you're going to go do some craziness, like take another station on and think you can do it. And it's like, okay, we're in like the number one market, so yeah, then you just do it. And you really do you just figure it out. And again, then it go back to, who is in your team, who's, and that's, in media, we talk about the personalities, but it's multifaceted. I mean, there's marketing department, sales, there's the business, management teams and all that. So it's a big team, but they help. But those are some off the top that I'm just like, I'm really appreciative of them for their, their role in my journey. And then in turn, that's why I do my best to do that. I try to, when I'm sitting with somebody, if they're coming in new, I'm like, okay, what do you want to do? Same questions and all that. And I'm thinking, from my gift to them is, okay, so how do I take them beyond where they even think they can go right now? And that's my goal with my team. Like that's what I try to dedicate to, okay, let me expand them a little bit. And, the one thing I do know is, okay, but you're filming now.
But I'm still filming, yeah, you can keep going.
So the one thing I do know is with the DJs on 99 Jams, for example, they were DJs, and now they're personalities where they can do a shift as well as mix, which is how dope is that? I mean, you're moving beyond, you know what I mean? And I think for, your podcasters, okay, so how are you going, and moving beyond? You have all these opportunities, like you were saying, now you're doing, every third, Sunday, right? So shout out to that.
Right. Oh, I'm repping right now.
I just said, but that's it's just how you continue to expand and then challenging yourself. So we should do it for ourselves. Mm-hmm. But then when you have someone that can also help you with that and kind of say, no, but what about, that and where are you going with that? Or what's up with that goal? It's great to have somebody kind of push you and help you along.
Well, I think most of the themes that we've gotten from you is evolving, saying yes to opportunities, and definitely, knowing how to support your team and flourish, and having that support because, it's nice to have reinforcement, especially when in a game like media, where it's so broad but so concentrated, where all eyes are on you or whoever you work for. So I think it's very inspiring. What we do like to ask before we wrap up is for women or men that want to get into the game, what advice would you give to those that may have some experience but don't really know how to take it to the next step?
I get it. One thing is, believe in yourself and your talent, but be open to, the constructive criticism and coaching along the way. And that's just from day one on. But I'm not afraid to take in people. A lot of my, the hit staff and some of the, Lucky C is a great example. He didn't, I'm like, but you're going to be on the radio, you can actually talk, and you're, so these are examples of, if I see the talent or the potential. Al P is my night guy on hits. He came in and he's, taken over. He didn't, have that. He did radio previous, so he had some experience, but there's people that if they have the talent, if I hear it or I can, vibe it, I can pull it out. It may sound like shit in the beginning. I'll be like, that air check was horrible. But, and then they'll listen back and laugh at themselves because they're like, oh my God, Jill, what did you, I've had multiple times, why did you hire me? I suck. I'm like, I know you suck, but I heard the potential. And it's like, you just gotta have to,
you need coaching.
Yeah. But, and so do your own thing. It's like, I think of your, be your own program director. And, if you had it like flip roles, it's like, okay, if I have to critique this, what would I do? And take your ego out of it and, listen to it like that. But for people trying to get in, I just think it's all possible. You're up against, it's, a lot of talent. So I just look at, there may not be multiple talent, like I look at it, but I just look at, okay, here's all this talent. How are you gonna stand out? What is your thing? And it doesn't mean because the opportunity that you went for wasn't for you, but the next one might be, because that click didn't happen. Maybe it was your brand and this brand didn't go together as well as somebody else, but that doesn't mean that there's another brand that you're just, it's gonna work amazingly.
It's funny that you said that, because in Angie Martinez's book, she spoke about how it's okay to be not good at something. Mm-hmm. You have to learn, go to school to learn how to do something. Yeah. So if you're not good at it, it's okay. And she had horrible air checks. She said, it's Angie Martinez.
A quick story about, Angie got on because of Flex being afraid to talk. Flex,
exactly.
Afraid to talk in the mic. It was doing. I don't want to do it.
Really?
Yeah. Okay. So that's just an interesting, that was her. Look at how her opportunity was, and then she, because of that opportunity, she just said yes. Did it?
The thing,
say yes.
Even if you're scared,
that's a big thing. I think when you're uncomfortable, just be comfortable with being uncomfortable until it becomes the norm.
And then so hard.
Yeah, it is. It for everyone. But I'm telling you, it doesn't get any easier. You just keep getting comfortable with different uncomfort. So it's really. It's that, but I'm telling you, if you do that, that's when we go really far.
Wow. All right. Well, I think we learned a lot. I think we got to learn a lot better.
Now it makes sense why she's lovely.
Yeah, she's thank you. Well, let everybody know where they can follow you and find you on social media and websites and all that.
I'm just at Jill Strada on all social media, and then my stations, I have to plug them.
I was
Instagram.
Don't plug them.
Don't follow us now. On Jams, it's at 99 Jams Miami, and then Hits is at Hits 973.
All right. So you already know. Thank you very much for coming through.
Thank you.
We are the Anti-Socialites.
Yes.